A man who had been struggling with strange activity in his home for months finally decided to bring in a medium for answers. After walking through the property, the medium explained that the disturbances were being caused by a haunted object he unknowingly kept in his possession. The problem was, he had no idea what that object could be, and despite searching, he never managed to identify it.
You've been warned. You wanted ghost videos, here they are. In this video, it's at night when he was sleeping and he caught it on his inside living room camera. He lives alone and has started to get poltergeists. And the mediums that he had come in said it's because he has something in his possession that's haunted, but he has no idea what it is and he can't find it. So this is the first of several videos.
On one of his security cameras inside the house, 2 orbs of light can be seen drifting across the room before a nearby door creaks open on its own. Moments later, something even more unsettling appears, a dark mist crawling briefly along the floor before vanishing. The footage left him more unsettled than ever, and without knowing which item was to blame, he feared the activity would only continue. The very next day, after capturing the orbs and the dark mist, the man thought things might calm down, but instead they escalated. Late in the evening, he heard the distinct sound of purring outside his bedroom, assuming it was his cat. Calling its name several times, he grew uneasy when the animal never appeared. Wanting to document what was happening, he pulled out his camera.
Man, you guys really like ghost videos, huh? Holy shit. Just a little caveat, I am not the forefront leader in all things ghost videos. My brother has a few scary videos I thought I'd post. I am not going to be the person you go to for ghost content. With that said, I do have a few more. Here's another video.
Felix. Felix.
As he approached the door ahead of him, a shadowy figure could be seen lingering in the small crack where the door met the frame. The sight made his breathing quicken, and after a few tense moments, the door suddenly swung shut on its own, with the shadow shifting out of view as it did. This moment left him shaken, especially since the purring sounded so similar to his actual cat, and his cat never returned to that hallway. Before this unsettling cat clip even took place though, the man had actually experienced something just as disturbing. Earlier that same night, he noticed a strange reflection shifting outside his room. Almost like a figure was standing there in the dim light. Gripped by unease, he quickly snapped a photograph, unsure of what he would capture. When he looked at the picture, his heart sank.
Ghost, ghost, and more ghost. I gotcha. I have a few more videos. I love that everybody is so involved and into all of the different videos and hauntings of my brother's apartment. I've set this one up because it's pictures, so before I get all of the comments of this is fake, it's not. I don't have enough time on my hands to try to fake this. Neither does my brother. So I try to set it up pretty well. I have one more video after this, and then they'll start trickling in slowly because he doesn't get haunted on an hourly basis. So let me know what you think of this one. This one actually freaked me out more than all of the videos, and the videos were pretty fucking freaky. So here you go.
Felix.
The photo clearly showed the outline of a shadow figure, standing just outside his room on the stairs that clearly couldn't be stood on, its shape warped and unnatural against the hallway wall. He described the image as one of the most frightening things he had ever seen, because unlike a fleeting video clip, a photograph meant the figure had been truly present, caught in that exact moment in terrifying clarity. After that chilling photograph, the house fell eerily quiet for a few days. No knocks, no shadows, no strange sounds in the night. For a brief moment, the man began to hope that whatever presence had been tormenting him was finally gone. But deep down, the silence didn't bring comfort, but it only made him more anxious, like the calm before a storm. Every creak of the floorboards or hum of the pipes kept him on edge, waiting for the next unexplainable moment to shatter the fragile peace. The uneasy calm didn't last. One day, while he was working quietly at home, the peace finally broke.
You guys want more? All right, here's ghost video number 2. For those that are joining, my brother's house is haunted. He lives by himself. He's been haunted for a few years now, actually, and it's all because a medium once told him he has an item in his house that is possessed and are haunted, and until he gets rid of that, the hauntings are going to continue. So until he figures out what that item is, because he has no idea, we're going to keep getting these videos, and I'll keep posting them because everyone seems to like them, and they freak me the hell out. So here's number 2.
A camera positioned in the top corner of the room caught the bathroom lights slowly turning themselves off and then back on again, as though someone unseen was playing with the switch. Before he even had time to process it, a door from across the house slammed shut with such force that it echoed through the rooms, making him jump out of his chair. The suddenness of it all left him shaken, and it became clear the haunting hadn't ended. It was only biding its time. Bruno had always cherished a small toy skateboard that sat proudly on the kitchen table, a gift from his grandfather before he passed away. That night, while idly playing with it, he suddenly felt the strange urge to start filming, as if something inside him knew something was about to happen.
Se movió la silla.
¿Leal?
Sí.
De las cores.
Tipo, esta caiteta.
De las cores.
As the camera rolled, the chair adjacent to him suddenly slid back from the table all on its own, the scraping sound sending chills through the air. Terrified, Bruno immediately bolted to find his brother, and the two returned cautiously to the kitchen to see what had happened. Just as they stepped inside, the door to the room slammed shut with such force it shook the frame. The brothers were left frozen, staring at each other in disbelief. Afterwards, Bruno admitted he couldn't shake the feeling that his grandfather's presence might somehow be tied to the event, though whether it was a warning, a sign, or something darker, he wasn't sure. A group of friends were sitting around together, just enjoying a relaxed conversation with no tension in the air. No odd vibes, just the usual banter you'd expect on a quiet night. Everything felt perfectly normal until a sudden bang came from the cupboard nearby. Curious rather than alarmed, one of them pulled out her phone to film.
Dengar. Ada suara. Ada suara. Gue takut nih. Gimana ini balikinnya?
The camera caught one of the cupboard doors slowly creaking open on its own, making everyone go silent for a moment. The woman holding the camera cautiously stepped closer to check, but as soon as she peeked inside, she jumped back in fear, letting out a sharp gasp. Whatever she saw wasn't clear on camera, leaving only the sound of her reaction to go by. Tell me in the comments if you can make out what scared her. Esther had gone to her father's grave on the 5th anniversary of his passing, just as she did every year. She always made sure to clean up around the headstone, refill the plant pot, and spend some quiet moments reflecting. But on this particular visit, something strange unfolded.
Digo, aquí no hay aire. Una pequeña tumba donde tuve un reilete que tira. Estuve insistiendo, yo pedí quien quisiera, con todo el respeto, de mí hacia ellos y de ellos hacia mí, obviamente. He visto 3 reiletes distintos que giren. No hay aire. Sigo insistiendo, hay mínimo aire como para que el reilete gire de esta manera. Lo ilógico es que quiero reiletes y hasta apenas inicia a moverse. No hay aire. Miren, ahí hay unas plantas. No se alcanzan a ver que no hay movimiento de las plantas. Pero aquí, sin embargo, hay un reilete. Aquí estoy. Ya paro en automático. Voy a girar. Para eso me acerco y cuando gira, este pequeño reilete. Voy a intentar leer su nombre. Creo que no logro distinguir bien su nombre, pero aquí está el reilete girando. Lo curioso es que justo ahora que hay un poco de aire, cuando hay un poco de aire se para. ¿Ya fijaste? El otro es completamente estático, no es broma, vean. Voy a retirarme para que vean. No, ahorita va a girar. Está estático. Le voy a pedir. Ay, Dios, no puedo leer tu nombre porque no quiero mover tus reiletes. Pero muéveme uno. Puedes moverme los dos, te lo voy a agradecer. Eso lo extraño. Solo uno mueve y el otro no. Sí, va. Solo alcanzó a distinguir bien estrada. Voy a parar un poco el video.
Sitting on the grave were 2 wind spinners side by side. Despite there being no wind at all, only one of them began to spin slowly and steadily, while the other remained completely still. The odd contrast made the moment feel eerie, almost as if it were deliberate. Esther couldn't help but wonder if it was her father reaching out to her in some subtle way, a small sign of communication from beyond. A ghost hunter had been hired to investigate an old house with a reputation for being haunted, and although he'd been skeptical at first, he was willing to take the job for the payout. For the first stretch of his exploration, the place seemed quiet, nothing more than creaky floors and dusty rooms. But just as he was starting to think it was going to be a wasted trip, something chilling unfolded. After searching room to room for a few minutes, he suddenly stumbled upon a child's rocking horse in one of the corners, moving back and forth as if an invisible child were sitting on it. The sight froze him in place, the steady motion far too deliberate to be explained by air or movement. He whispered nervously to himself, backing away slowly, before finally turning and walking off in fear, not daring to stay in that room any longer. The basement is the most probable place in anybody's house to succumb to being haunted, so the least thing you would expect is for someone to run there when trying to avoid it. The following video had our victim so desperate for safety, though, that it happened. The time was just 7:30 in the evening, and the man was doing everything you would want to in life, sitting down and planning a lovely holiday to Europe. However, little did he know that this would happen, and he was fortunate enough to be filming the door.
Kurwa, jeszcze nie teraz, jak w sobotę. Kurwa mać. No nie będę połączyć, żeby tu wrócić. Tak chuj.
First of all, he was filming the door because something happened earlier, and immediately after a knock happened on the door, he jumped to action. Straight away, everything in the house became a bubble of the paranormal, and it was way too frightening. So he ran to the basement where the door slammed behind him. The ghost didn't let him out for a solid hour before the door finally gave way, and he was allowed to run from the home. You best believe that place went straight onto the housing market. Danny was doing some important things around the house when suddenly a series of knocking noises started to occur in the bathroom. Out of natural human curiosity, he decided to go and investigate, but little did he know, this was going to be the worst decision of his life. What he initially believed would be a rodent infestation, or something along those lines, quickly appeared to be something far more evil. I think if he got the choice, he would have picked the rodent any day. When he entered the room, the knocking continued, and as suspected, it was coming from the walls. Danny was going to go back to the living room and call the rodent exterminators that he already had on speed dial. But just as he was about to leave, a demonic-looking creature peeked around the curtains. Out of pure shock, Danny ended the video instantly and sprinted his way out of the house before opening his CCTV app. Nothing was in the house. Horror Xiaolong. is a YouTube channel for the people out there who find spirits really interesting but would never put themselves in the face of one. This channel does that for its fans and showcases just how evil and twisted these beings can be. In the specific video of which I am about to show you, they were exploring a house that an entire family was slaughtered in, and it's no surprise that nobody had moved in since. Here is what happened.
这里边出来一个那啥呢，一个大人头，咱俩怎么办？
消失了，那不打了。
以咱们的脾气肯定消失。
对，你肯定消失。故意消。
哎呦我操！我操！哎呦我操！我哎呦！我操你妈！
To deny that this place has some form of haunted entity would be utterly ignorant, as it is almost certain something else was in there. Whether it was the brutally murdered family or another ghost though, that's a whole different question. Earlier on in the day, Egi was forced to evacuate his place of residence after a ghost started to play the piano. This was very creepy, and the strangest part was that it continued even after he unplugged it. Out of fear and confusion, he left the house and cycled all the way to his friends hoping they would let him in. He only forgot one key thing. They were on vacation. This meant he had to go all the way back home, and he was praying it'd stop. Did it? You'll have to have a look.
Ketawa aku bangsat.
Baru aja sampai. Nih, masih pakai helm kan? Baru sampai. Udah disambut.
Sedap.
Anjing. Stop. Yang hidupinnya dia.
Ketawa aku bangsat.
Gimana ngidupinnya, woi? Oh, di sini. Nah. Oh, udah itu deh. Lihat kan? Baru pun sampai kan, bangsat kan. Saya lagi malas buat konten. Ini pun sedikit aja kan, karena tadi baru sampai tiba-tiba hujan. Udah dengar suara-suara aneh gini. Jadi next saya nggak akan konten-konten lagi. Saya cuman fokus mau main piano. Saya mau ngulik-ngulik lagu. Jadi saya mau fokus. Apapun gangguannya terserah. Intinya saya mau main aja. Biarin aja digangguin.
The house was clearly in no better state, and if anything, it had become far worse. The specific part that frightened Egi the most was that the spirit seemed to be speaking to him, and the words could be made out quite easily. One of them was a religious phrase, which he didn't really know what to think of. Was this a poltergeist sent by his religion as a sign, or was it something evil speaking against his god? The truth is, he would never find out the answer to this question, and the next morning, nothing else happened. It must have been a sign. He just doesn't know what for. In what was meant to be a video showing off the new pool table his parents bought him, Josh discovered something terrible about his basement. Recently, his parents bought him a brand new pool table for his birthday, and they allowed him to invite 7 friends over for an 8-man pool tournament. On paper, the idea seemed incredible, but it wasn't long before he discovered an incredible flaw.
I'm getting ready to play some pool with my friends. And gonna have a tournament, see who's the all-time champ, because my friends think they're gonna beat me. That was weird. My pool table right here. Delicious. Okay, must have tripped over that, but I don't know how. Okay. That was weird. Oh my god. Oh my god. That freak. Something just threw that glove at me. There's nothing over there. Whatever. I'm freaked out right now. I'm just gonna grab a pool stick.
From the moment Josh opened the basement door to the last second of the video, the evidence that this place was abnormal kept coming thick and fast. It was almost as if the spirit was on a sugar rush with the amount of chaos it was trying to cause out of seemingly nowhere. First of all, some sort of ball rolled down the stairs, and when he followed it, the chairs took action, moving on their own accord. Afterwards, Josh showed his parents the video, and they laughed as if it was some joke, and didn't believe him. Was this bad parenting? Have your say in the comments down below. It is a well-known thing that pets such as dogs and cats can see spirits, and while many choose not to believe this, there are still a lot of people who do. The logic behind it is that they can see certain light patterns that the human eye physically can't pick up, and poltergeists are seemingly made of these light patterns. Due to this, when your little friend starts to get upset or stressed over nothing, maybe you should consider the possibility that it isn't nothing after all. That was the case for the person who filmed our next clip.
Está en ruinas el estado de este templo. Bueno, pues ya está muy deteriorado. Se ve que aquí la gente viene a buscar tesoros. Escuchen. Escuchen, escuchen. ¿Ya vieron esa esquina? Como un rostro con un par de cuernos. Sí. ¿Sí se ve, no? Sí. Está completamente destrozado. Completamente destruido. ¿Qué dice ahí? Todos vamos directo hasta arriba.
The woman behind the camera was put on edge by this behavior, and to say it was scary would be an unjustly understatement. Her pet was staring at what looked like nothing to the human eye, but deep down she knew something was there, and there was actually visual proof. If you paid enough attention, a shadow figure could be seen, and it was a very faint one. I think it was certainly a ghost, and the dogs were definitely onto something, but I'm interested in your thoughts too. It is a well-known thing that pets such as dogs and cats can see spirits, and while many choose not to believe this, there are still a lot of people who do. The logic behind it is that they can see certain light patterns that the human eye physically can't pick up, and poltergeists are seemingly made of these light patterns. Due to this, when your little friend starts to get upset or stressed over nothing, maybe you should consider the possibility that it isn't nothing after all. That was the case for the person who filmed our next clip.
A shadow?
Maybe a shadow.
The woman behind the camera was put on edge by this behavior, and to say it was scary would be an unjustly understatement. Her pet was staring at what looked like nothing to the human eye, but deep down she knew something was there, and there was actually visual proof. If you paid enough attention, a shadow figure could be seen, and it was a very faint one. I think it was certainly a ghost, and the dogs were definitely onto something, but I'm interested in your thoughts too. Over the last few days, Marty has been hearing a series of bangs from upstairs, and he is well aware that they are not ordinary. One random day though, he decided that he had enough and wanted to go and check out the noises to see if there actually was a source, and he brought a camera just to have some evidence behind him. This is what was found.
Right, I'm going to record it, because I've had a couple of bangs now. The last one was quite violent and it came from upstairs. And it sounded like a door being shut. And I don't believe me when I'm here. Oh, bathroom light's on. Oh, and our door is shut, look. So, yeah. Huh. What's that doing on and why? Alright. Oscar? Oscar? Are you in here? Is that you? Oscar? Whoa! Whoa, 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 man, whoa! You? What the f? Oscar? Whoa. Mate. Hello? Oh, this is horrible. There's nothing in here. You can't get anything in here anyway, as you know. There's so much crap in there. This is just shit.
From a self-rolling ball to doors opening on their own accord, it was obvious that something was interacting with the room, leaving just one question. What was interacting with the room? There is no shot on Earth. It wasn't some sort of spirit. But what really matters is where it lies on the scale from evil to non-evil. Nobody wants an evil spirit. The following video was captured by a man called Paul, who had absolutely no belief in anything from the paranormal world. The mere mention of spirits made him laugh in the face of whoever spoke the word, and the shock that would come to him if he actually came across one would be indescribable. In the video that I am about to show you, Paul was in his house doing some maintenance jobs that his wife set whilst she was out working, when all of a sudden, a dark and eerie feeling swarmed the room, which gave him the instinct to press record, and this is what was caught.
El televisor solo. Los exteriores de chip finalmente redundan en la gestión y administración del servicio.
Strangely, the television was turned on by itself, but this is only one of the things that happened. This wasn't just a paranormal incident in isolation, it was many combined. The bell tower started chiming, as if a force had acted upon it, but we can clearly see that nothing has. Furthermore, it throws bottles, and something even hits the feet of Paul towards the end of this video. Paul did not believe in the paranormal world one bit before this video, but after it, saying he was questioning his feelings would be an understatement. In July of 2018, a family in New Orleans were sitting down together, watching some television, when the youngest child noticed something very strange. They pointed at the cabinets beneath the TV and claimed that they were moving by themselves, so the parents paused the television to take a look. For roughly a minute, nothing happened, and they were debating putting the television back on, as they were quite enjoying their show. However, moments later, this happened, and it kept them glued to their seats, and not to mention their mouths glued closed.
Okay, guys, we're in our room, and, you know, things are a little strange. So, I'm gonna see if I can, see what's going on and see if we can get somebody to respond. So if you're in here, please let us know. Okay, I know y'all see that, right? Nobody's touching nothing. Yeah, spooky.
It was very fortunate that the father decided to take his phone out to record this incident, because the child was correct and the cabinet moved on its own accord. We could clearly see inside of the cabinet as it was moving, and nothing was seen inside, meaning that whatever caused this must have been invisible. The kid says that it was most definitely a ghost, but the parents just can't teach themselves to buy into that opinion. I'm keen to see what you think in the comments. What would you do if random objects started moving inside of your house without any human interaction? My prediction is that you would run away and shout because I know for certain that would be my reaction. Well, the man in the following video handled it much differently. His name is Sam, and throughout his life he always felt as if someone or something was watching him. These feelings became so bad that he even had to go and seek therapy for it to see if any past traumas could be triggering it. But little did anybody know what was actually behind the feeling.
Hay algo. Ay, ¿qué pido? No mames, ¿qué pido? Se está moviendo el banquito solo. No mames. ¡Ah, su puta madre!
A ghost must have been behind it all along. Unlike most people who cower in the face of paranormal activity, Sam was cool and collected here, acting as a good example for how to behave. However, it makes no sense why he would be this way. For a first time, experience the reaction was way too chill and laid back, with many speculating it was because this was fake. Hold on though, because it wasn't. Perhaps over the years, Sam was starting to think that the feelings came from a spirit, so when it actually decided to haunt him, it came as no surprise. The truth is that there are no real answers out there, and it is up for interpretation. A bedroom is meant to be a safe space for people to go to when they want to drown out all of the noise from the world. And in the clip that I am going to show you shortly, Hannah was using it for this exact reason. She had experienced a horrible day at college, and when she came home, the only thing that she truly desired was her bed. But she had no idea that something was going to step in her way. The time was 11 p.m., and Hannah was still on her mobile phone, scrolling through social media in order to forget about the day, but she was beginning to consider going to sleep. Just as she came to the decision to rest though, this happened.
Yo, what the heck?
Somehow, the sound of knocking could be heard on the other side of the door, and it was a repetitive knock that supposedly lasted 2 minutes. Hannah didn't think to record for the majority of the situation, but we are lucky she came to that choice eventually. After catching the knocking on camera, Hannah knew that she needed to prove its authenticity in order to post it online, so searched the bathroom that the knocking came from. To absolutely nobody's surprise, it was empty. One of the most prominent places to become haunted in a house is the basement, and the only place in contention is the attic. The basement is where all of the dodgy things happen because it is tucked away and hidden from the rest of civilization. In our next clip, a mother of two was doing some cleaning around the house when she started to hear a weird noise coming from down in the basement. She was too frightened to go and check without company, so called to her daughter for aid, who agreed to go down there with her. Fortunately, nothing dangerous was on the other side of the door, but something weird definitely was.
And this is my basement. Summer. Tell me it's in the same box as Chucky right now.
Yeah, it's right there.
What?
Yeah, it's in there.
Right, but it hasn't been touched, and all of a sudden, after all of these months. and it's off.
After taking a moment to actually identify where the sounds were coming from, they found out it was in a Christmas box, and the noise was a Santa toy. Curious to see how it had turned itself on, the mother reached into the box and pulled it out, revealing the most frightening part of this story. The switch was off. No matter how many experts have tried to debunk this video, none of them have been able to and haven't recorded an explanation for the Santa incident. The mother is currently contacting ghost hunters to see if they can be of any aid. Sarah first started doing real estate 3 years before this next video was taken, and in all of those years, she has never experienced anything like this. Roughly 1 year into her real estate adventure, she purchased a property for people to rent in order to achieve consistent income, but little did she know that this would be a poor purchase. Over the course of 1 year, 15 people broke the contract of the property and left. So now the government forced her to inspect the place and send footage to them to prove that it was a safe environment to live in. This is what she ended up submitting. Have a look.
Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque la gente no dura rentando. Rompe el contrato por una u otra cosa y tuvimos que venirla a limpiar el día de hoy porque ya mañana se van a mover. Se las quiero enseñar. Lo raro es que dice el realtor que no dura la gente. Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque rompe el contrato a la gente. Ay, no mames. Ya es noche. Estoy sola. Chingados, estoy. No hay nada. Esta pinche casa la han rentado un chingo de veces. Y no sé por qué rompe el contrato la gente. Ay, no. Déjenme regresar así porque ya me dio cosas a la pinche puerta. Y dicen los señores que rentan aquí que miran demasiadas cosas. La gente no dura viviendo aquí. Rompe el contrato. Así que vamos a grabar un poquito para allá. Ese pinche cuarto ahí no sé qué fregados es. Ya las muchachas me están esperando allá afuera. Miren, allá me da cosa. Tengo que prender la luz. Ahorita voy a ir a prender la luz para seguir grabando. ¿Te imaginas? Para que la gente rompa el contrato acá es porque de plano no aguantan a vivir aquí. Y ahorita les voy a enseñar lo demás para allá. Déjenme prender la luz. ¿Dónde está la luz acá? Chingada madre. Ahí está. Ok, ahorita les voy a enseñar. Esta es una recámara. Se está poniendo ahorita tenso. Entonces, el Señor dice que ya van varias familias que rompen el contrato. No sé qué es lo que pasó aquí. Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que... Chingados, que... Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que realmente ha pasado, pero sí la hemos limpiado varias veces porque no dura la gente. Y eso sí, la verdad es algo extraño que no dure nadie. Yo no sé si tú has vivido en una casa así, donde te hayas tenido que haber salido por algo o roto el contrato. Ahorita les voy a enseñar qué es eso que se escucha. ¡Ey! ¿Andan acá? A dejar grabando, pero la neta ya me está dando cosa. Se escucha el ruido para acá. No sé qué sea. Escucha mucho ruido. que ir. No sé, tengo que ir a apagar la luz de ella porque se está poniendo ya. Ay, no. Creo que me voy a regresar mañana mejor. Yo me voy a la chica. Esa pinche luz, la de acá la tengo que apagar.
It seems that the reason so many people decided to break the renting contract and leave the house early is because it was haunted, which is very reasonable. Sarah realized she had a huge problem on her hands because nobody was going to move in now, and she would be forced to lower the rent. In one last desperate attempt to keep rent high, though she is currently in contact with a ghost hunter to come and cleanse the place, but since her motivation is profit, she will be charged a high amount. In the following video, a man was staying at his father's house because he had received tragic news. He would be sent into hospital 3 days from the time of recording due to a disease that proved fatal later down the line. At the time, though, the man had no idea of the outcome. The time was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the father went to the local shop to get some food for them both to eat later on. The son was used to waiting around in this priopat since it hadn't changed since all the way back when he was a child, making it a nostalgic place. However, something was different. He just couldn't pin what. It was some sort of feeling swarming his body to leave the place, but he knew he shouldn't. It was literally his father's place of residence. The poor bloke lived to regret this decision.
Estoy acá en la casa de mi hijo, acá el campo. Bueno, acá se ve un patio, pero es todo campo. Y me senté 2 segundos acá y... ¿Lo ven? ¿Lo ven ahí? Hace unos segundos se está asomando algo y... Yo veo... ¿Ven? ¿Lo ven? ¿Se ve? ¿Ven? Mira. ¡Ey! ¡Ey! Concha de la lora. No veo nada, la puta de re mi parió. Madre. Me doy vuelta todo alrededor, no hay nada, La casa estaba abandonada porque dejamos todas las cosas ahí, pero... Se escucha algo. Uy, concha de la lora. No, estoy re loco. Bueno, si vieron algo, me dicen en los comentarios. No se puede creer.
Out of nowhere, an apparition came into view, and what made it ever more horrifying was that nobody was actually there. It was either a figment of his imagination or a ghost, but after checking back on the camera footage, he knew this was as real as it gets. Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, is the most known person on this channel, and if you have ever watched one of my videos, you will know why. His profession is recording ghostly videos in some of the most haunted places that Midwest America has to offer, and this definitely comes with frights. His videos last up to 2 hours long, meaning they are perfect to include in my videos, and the one that you are about to be exposed to took place in an abandoned asylum, and he was alone. Take a look.
That wind is absolutely nuts tonight. This place is absolutely nuts. I'm not even halfway through this place, and that tells me I'm in for a long night. Doris, are you in here? I know we spoke earlier. I'm down in your kitchen now. Whoa. What was that? It almost looked like a ray of light over here. Doris, was that you I just seen? Hello? Whoa. I just seen it over here now. It's like a yellowish glow. Thank you for showing yourself, Doris. Ooh, it's that fan again. Are you cooking something? What are you cooking? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. I'm starting to lose it. I just heard, it sounded like humming, almost. Doris, was that you? There it is again. That same glow. It was just in that cooler. That walk-in cooler right there. Are you in this cooler? Hello?
The most frightening part of this interaction was the ghostly glow by far, because it almost confirmed to Ian that it was present. Furthermore, it started humming, so this spirit must have wanted to be seen. Who knows the reasons why? Subscribe for more clips of Ian. Zihon was fast asleep at 3 in the morning when a strange noise woke him up out of nowhere. At first he thought it might have been the wind, or maybe just a creak in the house, but the sound kept going. Curious and a little on edge, he got out of bed and made his way downstairs toward the kitchen to check it out.
Hey. 靠北啊！操，我他妈岔气的！看那没有声音，那没有声音。不可能是风吧？阿没拍谁哦？哥弟，你有看到吗？你有看到有人躲在那边的？哥姐有他有。哎，有人吗？哎，不好意思啊，阿北，如果你不欢迎我的话，你可以出声吗？打扰了。我操！靠北，我才刚开播啊，大哥！阿北，对不起哦，我不口渴啊。你别请我吃凉的好不好？老来嘞，歹势。有电吗？
As soon as he walked in, the fridge door started opening and closing on its own, over and over again. Zihun stood there frozen, watching in disbelief as the appliance seemed to have a mind of its own. His hands were shaking while filming, and you could hear the panic in his screams as he backed away. Since that night, he has barely been able to sleep properly and refuses to go downstairs alone when it is dark. He even unplugged the fridge a few times just to make sure it was not some electrical fault, but the activity has not stopped. Now he is considering getting professional help because whatever is in that house is not just trying to scare him, it wants to be noticed. William had always believed his dog had a strong sense for things that humans couldn't pick up on. So when the dog stayed completely still in the same position for nearly 20 minutes, he knew something was off. It wasn't asleep, it wasn't distracted, it just stared blankly ahead, unresponsive to any sound or movement. William walked over, crouched beside it, and tried everything from petting to calling its name, but the dog wouldn't budge. This is when he decided that recording was the best option. Take a look.
What's up, hearing ghosts? You alright, Benja? Oi! You alright? You alright? Keep looking up at the wall earlier, won't you? For them eyes, you know when something's not right. Fucking hearing noises. Fucking meanie. Banging. Fuck's sake. Bossy's gonna fly off then.
Suddenly, a CD flew off the shelf and landed with a hard thud on the floor, breaking the silence. William stood frozen, staring at the shelf, trying to work out what could have caused it. The CD hadn't been leaning, there were no open windows, and he hadn't touched a thing. Now every time the dog passes that area, it slows down, ears perked and body tense. William hasn't seen anything since, but the air in that room still feels heavier than the rest of the house. Marcus is a seasoned ghost hunter, but even with all his experience, every case feels like a fresh mystery. He had just taken on a new job for $200, a small house where the owners had reported strange noises and cold spots late at night. It wasn't the biggest case he'd worked on, but he took it seriously like all the others. He arrived in the evening, set up his equipment, and started recording straight away, hoping to catch even the slightest trace of paranormal activity. This is what he caught.
Voy así nomás, pero estoy sintiendo ruidos. No sé qué, a dónde. Yo creo que fue acá. ¿Vieron la cortina? No hay viento, gente. Miren, aparte una sola.
In the footage, the red curtain across the room moved twice on its own. No wind, no windows open, and Marcus wasn't anywhere near it. The second time it shifted, it was more aggressive, like something wanted to make sure it was seen. That was the moment Marcus knew the place wasn't just haunted, it was active. He stayed for another hour, asking questions, recording audio, and searching for cold spots. He didn't get much more on camera, but the curtain's movement was all he needed to confirm what the homeowners were feeling. He sent them the footage, warned them to stay cautious, and advised them to bless the home before anything worse decided to show itself. In 1980, Kevin had long felt that something was wrong with his house. It was not just the usual creaks or flickering lights, but the constant feeling that someone or something was watching him. After many sleepless nights and strange noises throughout the house, he decided to take action. He grabbed his camcorder and started recording every corner, hoping to find proof that he was not imagining things.
Right in the corner of this thing, there was this weird shape, man. He said, I'm in here. What's down here, Joseph? Where are you? In where? Fucking pussy. do something. If I stop now, man, we're gonna bless this shit. If I can expel you from here. You don't belong here anymore. Hear me? It's fucking my house now. You making that shit beeping noise, huh? Talking? Now you're fucked, we're gonna bless the shit out of this place and you're fucking screwed.
The footage shows a ghostly figure suddenly appearing from the bottom of the laundry door as if it had been hiding there. Moments later, another figure rushes past the front door, moving so fast it blurs but remains visible. Kevin watched the tape over and over that night, trying to understand what he had captured. With clear evidence in hand, he now faces a difficult choice. Moving out feels premature, but staying does not feel safe anymore. For now, Kevin is still deciding what to do next. Let us hope he makes the right decision. Feel free to wish him good luck in the comments. The man had known for a long time that his house wasn't right. Cold spots, footsteps when no one was there, the unsettling feeling of always being watched. He'd experienced it all, but whenever he mentioned it, people laughed it off or told him he was just imagining things. So he took matters into his own hands and decided to set up a camera facing down the hallway before going to sleep, determined to get the proof he needed. He wasn't sure if anything would happen, but deep down, he hoped the camera would catch something undeniable.
And hell, I don't know. I guess that's good, right guys? What do you think? Nah, we'll turn. I guess we'll turn. We'll just leave the hallway light on. Alright. Hopefully we'll see something in the morning.
The light in the room at the very end of the hallway begins to flicker erratically, as if something is tampering with the power. Just seconds later, the door to the nearest room creaks open slowly, seemingly on its own. The silence of the house makes the moment even more intense. When the man woke up the next morning and reviewed the footage, his hands started shaking. He paused, rewound, and played it again multiple times just to be sure. The camera hadn't malfunctioned. Something really happened. He's now considering sleeping elsewhere for a while until he can figure out what to do next. Luke had always suspected there was something off about his house, but never paid it much attention. His main focus was on keeping an eye on his cat, Bear, who was known for knocking things over and causing trouble at night. To make things easier, Luke installed a few CCTV cameras around the house, not for anything paranormal, but simply to keep watch on Bear's nightly adventures. One night at exactly 11:30, he got a notification from one of the cameras and decided to check what was going on. The footage shows Bear cautiously approaching a teddy bear that had been sitting perfectly still for hours. As the cat nears it, the teddy's arm slowly shifts before the entire toy falls over by itself. Bear immediately stops in his tracks and stares at the fallen teddy, clearly disturbed. Luke watched the clip several times trying to make sense of it, but could not find any logical explanation. There were no drafts, no strings, and nothing that could have caused the movement. It was enough to make him rethink everything he believed about the house. Now, he is considering calling in someone who deals with this kind of thing just to be sure. Layla was curled up in bed, watching her favorite show, enjoying a quiet night in like she always did. Everything felt normal until she noticed the closet door slowly creaking open on its own. Thinking it was just a loose hinge or maybe a draft, she got up, shut it completely, and made sure it clicked closed. But something didn't sit right with her, so before climbing back under the covers, she grabbed her phone and hit record, just in case it happened again.
The door opened up a few minutes ago, so while I was laying down, so we're gonna see if it's gonna open again. I closed it and got back in the bed, and hopefully it is shut for tonight. I just end up getting out my bed a minute ago and shutting it, so let's see. Looky. I'm in my bed, and there she goes. So I'm gonna have to end up putting a towel in it, or she's gonna keep opening it up all night. But I'm in my bed, as you can see. It opened up again by itself.
The footage shows Layla explaining the situation for a moment before the closet door begins to swing open once more, this time revealing absolutely nothing inside. No movement, no explanation, just empty space behind the door. Layla stays frozen for a few seconds, staring at the door and waiting for something else to happen, but the room remains silent. Watching it back later, she felt a chill, knowing she had double-checked that door, and it had opened anyway. Now she's keeping the phone near her every night and making sure that closet stays taped shut. She's not sure what she caught on camera, but she's not sleeping as peacefully anymore. Ian, better known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, was back at it again, this time taking on an abandoned asylum with a heavy reputation. He decided to go solo for this one, something he rarely does, but the location was too infamous to ignore. As he walked down one of the long, echoing corridors, the silence was suffocating, with each step bouncing off the crumbling walls like a warning. Ian kept his camera rolling, narrating every moment as he went.
I mean, it is windy outside, so I cannot rule that out. But these were loud, so I don't know. Is there someone up here? Making noises? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to think it could be a false alarm. Maybe not. That definitely sounded like it was in here. In here. And you know what? If you look out there. The wind has stopped. So that totally rules that out. Which is scary because those sounds were so loud. I nearly pissed myself. Luckily I wasn't recording. That would have been embarrassing. Oh God. Who's down there? You know, I can't help but think about that spirit box session that was on this floor. That right there, or not that one, right there, that's John Oliver's room. I'm just thinking about what he said. Because I have a bad feeling right now. Whoever's down there, come on out. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Dude, something just ran across that hall. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, come on, you just calm down. Oh, Jesus. I'm whimpering and screaming like a little freaking baby right now.
Out of nowhere, there was a loud bang, startling him. To make sure it wasn't just wind or a loose window, he carefully panned over to the glass, showing that it was completely sealed and the trees outside were still. Just as he turned back, another bang echoed from deeper in the hallway, and before he could even react, a ghostly figure glided across the hallway in front of him. It wasn't a trick of the light or camera blur. This was something solid enough to cast a faint shadow. Ian's breathing picked up, and he stopped talking completely, clearly rattled by what he just witnessed. He stuck around for a little longer, but you could tell he was ready to bolt. Whatever's in that asylum clearly knows it's being watched. Ever since he was young, Marcus had been fascinated with the underground. He loved the stillness, the echoes, and the sense of mystery that came with exploring places most people would never see. Over the years, he had taken up caving as a hobby, often bringing his loyal dog along for company. On this particular day, he decided to explore a cave system he hadn't visited before, curious to see what secrets it might hold. With only his headlamp and his dog's eager excitement to guide the way, they ventured deep inside.
Out. Come here. Come on. Come on. Go.
Misty. What do you think about this, Misty? Keep looking. Stay behind me. What the fuck is that? Oh shit. Go. Come on, Misty. Come on, Misty.
The footage shows them carefully making their way through narrow passages until they eventually reach a dead end, where dozens of bats hang above, prompting Marcus to turn around. After walking back for only a short time, the beam of his light catches something ahead, a tall, human-like figure standing in the darkness. It was far too unnatural in movement and presence to be anything ordinary. Without a second thought, Marcus grabs his dog and bolts for the exit, the sound of his hurried footsteps echoing through the cave as they escape into daylight. Even now, he says he can't explain what he saw, and maybe he doesn't want to. Dre and his friend had been hanging out one evening when a series of strange noises started coming from the attic. At first, they brushed it off, thinking it might just be the wind or an old house creaking, but the sounds kept happening, louder each time. After a bit of debating, they decided to check it out for themselves. Climbing up into the dim attic, they were hit with an instant feeling of unease, like they were being watched. The air felt heavier, and both of them agreed it didn't feel right.
Alright, remember, I gotta turn this thing on here. Recorder's on.
Alright, we got the cripple.
Yeah, I'm the cripple. I'm the EVP director.
The EVP specialist. And, let's see if I can do this. Got myself, Dre. And we're up here because we heard some noises earlier. And we're trying to figure out if we can catch a little bit more. Or try to piss this thing off enough to let us know that it's here.
I heard you up here last night. Make a noise. I kept on hearing stuff in the back of the attic on the back there on the right, like there was something hiding back there. I got it on the recorder, like all these little bangs and scratching noises. And
Yeah.
just for the record, there's no wildlife up here. What's your name? Stop hiding and show yourself.
Give us a sign. What the hell was that?
Did you see something?
We just got something on video.
What was it?
Oh my gosh, what was that? Hang on, we gotta stop this.
What did it look like?
In the footage, the camera pans across the far end of the attic, just in time to catch a sudden movement in the shadows. Nobody else was in the house, and no one could have been hiding there without them seeing. The encounter left them certain they had just come face to face with a ghost. Mykolenko is one of those rare ghost hunters whose reputation speaks for itself. Known for his sharp instincts, unshakable composure, and years of experience investigating some of the most infamous haunted locations, he's built a name for himself as the guy who gets results. Clients trust him because he doesn't just chase shadows, he documents them with undeniable clarity. So when he was offered $500 to prove a paranormal presence in a suburban home that had been giving its owners sleepless nights, he didn't hesitate. In the footage, Mykolenko is standing well across the room, far from the old wooden cabinet in question. Without warning, the cabinet begins to shake violently, sending several objects crashing to the floor. The angle is perfect, clear, steady, and without any sign of wires or tampering. The homeowners were convinced on the spot, and true to his word, Mykolenko delivered the proof and walked away with the full $500 in hand. If you want more investigations like this, make sure to subscribe. Mykolenko will be appearing in future videos, and you don't want to miss what he uncovers next. A man was relaxing in his bedroom late at night when a sudden aggressive rattling of a nearby door jolted him upright. At first, he thought it might be the wind, or maybe someone else in the house, but the sound was too intense and frantic to be either. Grabbing his camera, he stepped cautiously out of bed, his breathing already quickening as he edged closer to the source. The footage shows him standing right next to the door as the handle shakes violently on its own. Without warning, the door swings open and then closes again, all while the handle continues to tremble as if being gripped by invisible hands. His loud, panicked breathing fills the audio, making the moment even more unsettling. After the incident, he admitted he didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next day, he began researching and reaching out to local paranormal hunters, determined to bring in someone experienced who could explain or confront whatever was in his home. Valentina was at the hospital late one evening, sitting in the hallway while her father was being treated. She had no idea that at this exact point in time, her father had already passed away. She was scrolling through her phone, trying to distract herself from the stress, when something caught her attention out of the corner of her eye.
No. Ay, no puede ser, mira. No, mira. Es una fantasma acá, loco. No te puedo creer, la puta madre. No, lo que le parió. No.
The wheelchair her father regularly used began to roll forward completely on its own, moving smoothly across the corridor without anyone near it. Valentina froze, her fear mixing with confusion as she stared at the empty seat. Later, a nurse informed her that her father's heart had stopped just 2 minutes before the wheelchair had moved. The timing left her shaken, wondering if this was her father's way of saying goodbye. Marcos had just returned home from a long shift at work and was winding down for the night, watching TV in her room. It was quiet, the kind of stillness that usually meant nothing out of the ordinary would happen. But then she heard it, a distinct thud from just outside her bedroom door, like something heavy had fallen. At first, she thought she imagined it, but the sound was too real to ignore. Curious and a little uneasy, she grabbed her phone and started recording before going to check.
Dios.
She slowly opened her bedroom door and immediately spotted an object lying on the floor in the hallway, something that definitely hadn't been there before. As she processed what she was seeing, a chair further down the hall suddenly slid across the floor directly toward her, stopping just a few feet away. Marcos backed up quickly, her breathing picking up as fear set in. Later, she admitted she didn't sleep in her room that night, and was now considering having a paranormal investigator come to see what she might be dealing with. Fabian was sitting in his room watching TV when he heard the familiar sound of his dad's car pulling into the driveway. He quickly turned his head toward the window, trying to catch a glimpse of him arriving. While Fabian's attention was fixed outside, the doll on his bed shifted suddenly, moving in a way that was far from natural. Fabian had no idea. He only turned back a moment later and hurried out of the room to greet his dad. Later, his mum reviewed the security footage from his room and was left stunned by what she saw. The doll had been perfectly still before, and there was no one near it when it moved. The unsettling discovery has her seriously considering moving out before whatever caused it decides to do more. Late at night in Mexico, a family was winding down when one of them claimed to see something strange moving outside from their bedroom window. They described it as a white cloak drifting through the street. So the father decided to head downstairs and step outside to record whatever it was.
Ya, loco, graba. Míralo ahí, loco, míralo ahí. ¿Y qué es lo que está haciendo? Yo te dije, loco, se parece a Martín, loco, el que murió. Cierra la puerta. Cierra la puerta. Llama a papi. Papi, ven que aquí hay una cosa rara, yo no sé qué es. Mira, llámalo, ve. Cierra la puerta. Ay, Dios mío. Mira. Ay, Dios. Llama a papi.
In the footage, a white bedsheet-like shape can be seen floating and twisting through the air, moving in a way that didn't match any breeze. It glided across the road, almost deliberately, before disappearing into the deep shadows beside another house. The family was left unsettled, unsure if it was some elaborate prank or something far stranger. Neighbors have since been warned, but the mystery remains unsolved. Most people would find seeking ghosts a horrible activity that ends up badly, no matter the result. Either you find one and end up running away in fear, or you don't, and end up scrounging around for hours just to go back home again. It's a loss-loss situation. However, some people find the hunt thrilling, especially clueless teenagers, and the ones in our next video definitely weren't on the bright side. They decided to venture deep into the woods to check out an abandoned house, but they failed to remember one thing. Houses tend to be abandoned for a reason.
Come on. Come on.
Now be really quiet so we do hear him.
I no one talk, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Come in fast. I can feel. Right. What? Where's the back door? Wait, just here. Oh shit. Let's go. Let's go. We'll walk down there. Gotta walk down there. Oh, Diogo. Oh, shit, me hard. Yeah, let's go. We'll walk down. Yeah, I follow you. But, oh no, we don't see anything with the camera. Yeah, it's too dark. Yeah.
Not even a fucking window.
What?
It's a fucking window.
What?
It's just someone who's at the window.
Act?
Someone was at the window.
It's
gone really bright now. Is the window after open?
No, it's the same.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Immediately after entering, they felt a strange vibe about the location and knew they were straight into the deep end without knowing how to swim. Very quickly after entering, one of them noticed someone or something had passed by the window, and due to being in such a remote location, this was bound to cause fear. After alerting everyone, they stared at the window for a brief moment, and that's when it happened. It slammed shut in one great motion, causing them all to run home, the smartest decision of the night for them. Every night without fail, a man would close one of the doors in the house because he didn't like giving his dog free rein of the place. It was an untrustworthy dog, and he was convinced that it would cause a mess if allowed outside of the sitting room at night, so he decided this was the smart alternative. Strangely though, over the past few weeks, he had been waking up to an open door, and at first he thought his dog had figured out how to do it. It was tall after all. However, one night when he was going to the kitchen, this theory was disproved. Whenever he shut the door, some sort of spiritual face pressed itself against the glass, and it was almost as if it wanted to escape. Paranoid, the man kept opening and closing the door in hopes that the poltergeist would perhaps disappear, but of course, it didn't. Eventually, he got curious and placed his hand against the glass to see what would happen, and it was mesmerizing, to put it lightly. The hand of the spirit pressed against the same place, and the man described a warm feeling filling his body. Perhaps it wasn't an evil spirit at all. Alex is a man who we have seen very recently on this channel, and the haunting that he is going through is one that many would not be able to handle. Quite a while back, his great-grandfather died of natural causes at 93 years of age, which was deeply saddening to the family. They thought that they would never see him ever again at the time, but little did they know Alex would. Last time, a noise led him to some keys that he did not know the purpose of, and he kept them around in case he figured it out. They were involved in this clip too, so take a look.
Okay, I just heard a loud bang out here. It's the middle of the night. Sounded like it was coming from the kitchen. Hello? Oh, shit. Hello? Okay, so I just came out and saw this chair freaking slide by itself away from the table, and when I look at what was out on the table, or what I definitely did not put out here, it is my great-grandfather's journal, his old letters, those keys I found, and a photo album that I had not even known was here. This looks like an old, really old family photo album, and then this is a picture of my grandmother. My great-grandfather's daughter. So I'm freaking out right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have gone to that graveyard. I don't know.
Again, the clip starts with a loud bang in the middle of the night, as if the ghost's only strategy is luring its prey into its traps. Today's trap was a moving chair that acted as a distraction to Alex, whilst it messed with something else. The ghost somehow gathered a bunch of great-grandfather-related items and placed them all on the same table, which was super creepy for Alex. He is almost certain the cause of this is his great-grandfather, but he feels like the tint of evil is way too high to be him. With the slight possibility of relation to the poltergeist, though, it was enough to make Alex put up with it for a bit longer, and he continued to gather video evidence so he could potentially connect some dots. One night he heard the infamous sounds from downstairs again, so as per usual, went to investigate with full awareness that a spirit was causing it. He was not aware, however, of how crazy this footage was about to be.
So I just captured something else on tape. While I was actually taking the tape, I did not notice it at all, but you go ahead and take a look at it and tell me what you think. Okay, I just heard a really loud noise coming up here from the same place where all the other stuff has been going on. Like something was dragging across the floor. Turn on the lights, like everybody says. Okay, come on. I know I heard something. I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing here. Turn on this light down here. No, I don't know. Did you see it? Let's take a closer look. Yeah, so that is somebody peeking out from my laundry room. I couldn't get a good look at it, but I don't know. That definitely looked like somebody to me. And there's nobody there. I've already checked. Nobody who is pale white hiding in my laundry room. So I'm freaked out right now.
Unlike his past footage where the poltergeist does some creepy stuff, with no explanation and mysteriously leaves without a singular way of tracking it. This time it showed itself. Later on, Alex sent it to some relatives to see if it had any resemblance of his great-grandfather in their eyes, as they knew him at a young state, and all of them said that whatever this was, it was definitely different and had an evil intent. Visiting a place that you have complete confidence in being haunted is something that only a psychologically insane person would do, and I would place the two kids in the following video in that category. They were both very young at the time, and their great-grandmother had recently passed away, meaning the family was in a state of despair. Unlike the rest though, these children recovered within a week. They decided to visit her house in an attempt to contact her once again and hid the plan from their parents entirely. This is what went down at the location, so have a look.
Estamos aquí en la casa de mi bisabuela, se fue la... ¿Qué es eso? Se fue la luz. Esta es la casita, porque... y mi mamá... Espérense. Y mi mamá y mi abuela se fueron al Oxxo a comprar velas por eso, por lo que pasó de que se fue la luz. Y pues estamos aquí, estas son las... Mi abuelito... Espérense, no sean chillones. No va a pasar nada. Y esas son las cenizas de mi bisabuelo, porque pues desgraciadamente él ya falleció. Y el baño está allá. El baño, mi hermano quiere hacer pipí, pero el baño está allá. Y mi abuela nos dijo que cuidáramos. Mi abuelo nos dijo que cuidáramos aquí su casa en lo que ellas iban. Pero espérense. Pero pues el problema es que aquí no sabemos. Y pues no tengan miedo. No pasa nada. Abuelito, si estás aquí, preséntate ante nosotros. Si estás aquí, preséntate ante nosotros. Somos tus nietos.
If you paid enough attention throughout the video, you would have noticed the two most frightening parts about it. First of all, a pair of bright, glowing eyes could be seen without a body, which is often a way in which evil spirits portray themselves to display mystery. Furthermore, some kind of black object kept swaying in and out of the entrance, and while it could have easily been some curtains, it could just as easily be a poltergeist. Ghost hunting can be more than a hobby. It can actually be a freelance job, and believe it or not, it pays thousands of dollars if you're any good at it. This next clip comes from a ghost hunter's exploration of a house that somebody was interested in buying and wanted it checked before proceeding with an offer. For quite some time, the hunter saw absolutely no sign of the paranormal, which meant he would make less money, so he kept going, until eventually he hit the jackpot.
Okay, everybody, hold still for a second. Hello? Can you talk to us?
Roughly 14 seconds into the sequence, some sort of apparition can be seen walking back into a room, and upon closer inspection, it looks like a child. After the clip ended, the hunter followed into the room, but to his dismay, things went back to normal. However, this was more than enough to prove the ghost's existence and pay the bag, so he walked home happy. The buyer with interest, however, not so much. There aren't many feelings worse than being called a liar, despite telling the absolute truth, and you can argue with that all you want in the comments. What makes this feeling even worse is when you have a weird entity on your back, and no one trusts that you're in the right state of mind, so you can't get help. This was the case for Alejandro, a regular Mexican man who wanted nothing but safety for his family, but this puts it at risk.
Bueno, esto está pasando en mi casa. Hay actividad paranormal, la puerta se azota. Hay cosas que se mueven. Vean mi papel de baño. Ya revisé y no hay absolutamente nada. A las plenas 4 de la tarde está pasando esto. Estoy documentándolo para mandarlo, que lo examine. A nuestros plenos ojos algo está sucediendo. La puerta se cierra solita. Bueno, la puerta puede ser por el aire, mucho aire. Sin embargo, de repente vean lo que está pasando con el papel de baño. Y es increíble que esté pasando esto a plena luz del día. Vamos a tener que mandar esto para que lo examinen las personas que se dedican a los fenómenos paranormales.
Regardless of the ghost not doing anything you could consider aggressive, Alejandro saw the potential and immediately went to his local place of religion to seek assistance. From this point and forwards, he will not rest until it is a guarantee the ghost isn't in his house. Small gatherings are meant to be fun and enjoyable times for friends and/or families, but this one was ruined by the paranormal world. All that a group of friends wanted to do was meet up at someone's house, play some games, and have a few drinks, but even that's too much fun for a ghost's liking. Take a look.
So the TV turned off right now by itself. This has been happening too.
Dude, something like that, dude, you gotta, I feel like I've seen that before. You gotta, whenever since I was young, you gotta like call it out or something. Like, you just gotta call it, like literally, bro, just like, is anybody here? Is anybody here? It's like, no, you just anybody here, sorry.
What was that? I think it was upstairs. Sounded like a big old bang. This has been happening, bro. Ooh, it's dark as fuck, dude. Oh, dude, it looks creepy. It looks fucking creepy up here, bro. Oh, shit.
Turn off down here.
Go. I don't want to be.
The light just turned off down here.
Holy.
The light over there just turned off. I'm not even joking.
Let's just go.
We should just get out of here. The light just turned off down here. Yeah. The light over there just turned off. I'm not even joking.
Should we just go?
Yeah, I think we should leave. I think we should just get out of here. Honestly. Honestly, I'm not even grabbing nothing. I'm just gonna go. Can we just go?
It rudely interrupted by tampering with the lights and moving a television remote completely by itself. The camera had the whole remote in shot, so there was a 0% chance it was anything but a ghost that caused this. The gathering had to stop early, and it's safe to say none of them could rest properly that night. A man was working late one night on his small business setup at home when he started to hear a faint but repetitive knocking sound. At first, he thought it was just the house settling or maybe something outside. But as the knocking persisted, he began tracing the sound and realized it was coming from a cabinet across the room. Curious and slightly uneasy, he pulled out his phone and began to record.
Yo, I've been like hearing fucking knocking sounds coming from this room. You hear that? Oh my god. What the fuck? Hello? 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 I'm fucking out of here, bro. Fuck this.
In the video, the cabinet door suddenly opens itself just a crack. He walks over cautiously, then opens the door fully, only to find it completely empty. There was no mechanism, no airflow, no trick, just an eerie silence as the camera catches him backing away. After the encounter, he decided to leave the workspace for the night. Though he tried to brush it off, he later admitted to friends that the moment felt unnatural, and he's been hesitant to work in that room after dark ever since. A man on TikTok had been relaxing at home when he heard strange sounds coming from upstairs. It wasn't the usual creaks or settling, it sounded like movement. Instead of brushing it off, he decided to film and share what was happening with his followers. Grabbing his phone, he headed to the top of the stairs and stood at the end of the hallway. Here is what he was able to capture.
Alright, tell me I'm a crack. Every time I turn off the light, there's like a shadow there. Watch. You see that? What the f? What the f? Tell me I'm not a crack, dude. Hell no. What the f? Dude, I'm out of here. Ma.
He pans the camera across the hall to show that no one is there, then focuses on one specific doorway. As he turns the light off, a shadowy figure appears in the frame, standing motionless. He flips the light back on, nothing. Off again, the shadow is back. He does this several times, each time getting more anxious as the figure disappears and reappears with the flick of the switch. Eventually, without saying a word, he turns the camera away and quickly leaves the house. After posting the clip, his followers were quick to flood the comments with theories, ranging from a trick of the light to something far more unsettling. The man later explained he had never experienced anything like that before, and still doesn't have an explanation. Since the video, he hasn't spent the night alone in that house and is thinking about moving out altogether if it ever happens again. Sherry and her co-worker were finishing up their shift at around 7:30 p.m., going through their usual end-of-day tasks at the crematorium where they both worked. It had always been a quiet place, professionally run, and nothing out of the ordinary had ever happened in all their years working there. The idea of anything paranormal seemed far-fetched until that night. While checking the security cameras, they noticed something strange on one of the monitors and decided to record it on a phone. The footage shows a body completely covered in a white blanket, resting on a stretcher in the prep room. Without warning, the covered body begins to shift ever so slightly, then more noticeably, as if something underneath was adjusting itself or trying to move. Neither Sherry nor her co-worker were anywhere near it at the time, and the room had been closed off. Both stood in stunned silence as they watched the movement happen in real time on the screen. The body was cremated the following day as scheduled, and no further strange activity has occurred at the facility since. Sherry later said they still don't have any answers, and they've chosen not to talk about it much around their co-workers. While it hasn't changed how they feel about the job, it's a moment they won't forget anytime soon. Dr. Kamal and a nurse were sharing a quick laugh during a short break, standing together in one of the quieter hallways of the hospital around midnight. Nothing had felt off up to that point. They were joking around as usual, and Kamal casually held his phone, already recording as part of a light-hearted prank he was planning on pulling. The moment was relaxed and normal, until it suddenly wasn't.
Es que te estoy enfocando las boobies.
Ah, no mames.
¿Qué?
Pasó algo.
¿Qué pasó? No mames.
A ver, ven. No mames, pasó algo, te lo juro que pasó algo,
Se mueve, ya se mueve.
Vete a la verga.
Yo no voy.
No mames.
While the camera rolls, a ghostly figure silently walks past an open doorway just a few feet behind them. It's brief, but the movement is clear. Both Kamal and the nurse stop mid-laugh, frozen. He immediately steps forward to check the hallway, confused and shaken, but finds no one there. Then, just before he turns back, a walking assistant that had been still in the hallway glides a few inches across the floor on its own, startling both of them again. The video left viewers stunned, and Kamal uploaded it mostly to get opinions on what they'd seen. As far as he knows, no one matching the figure's outline was anywhere in the building at the time. That part of the hospital had been empty. Since then, the two have continued working their shifts, but neither of them walks through that hallway without glancing over their shoulder anymore. Sabia has been included in one of the recent videos on my channel, and her story continues this time. In the last video, she had been experiencing all sorts of paranormal experiences in her own home, and this was because one had followed her when she visited an abandoned house with her now ex-boyfriend. She lived alone in this house and had no idea how to deal with the spirit, so had to knuckle down and deal with it. This video is a prime example of the sort of things that happen on a day-to-day basis for her. Take a look.
Dat licht knipperde weer aan en uit in de hal. Oh, in het nieuwe huis. Verdorie. Helemaal klaar mee. Oh. Oh. Ik durf echt niet. Donder op, ik ga er niet naartoe. Ik bel wel iemand.
Once again, the spirit performed its signature act of messing with the lights before expanding its powers to whole different levels. From a swinging light to a ghostly apparition, this was shocking, and I really do hope that Sabia becomes okay in the future. Make sure to wish your luck too in the comment section. The man behind the TikTok account 1916 Haunting was excitedly giving a tour of his family's new basement. It was still a work in progress, but he was clearly proud of how things were shaping up. The shelves were neatly stacked with glasses of beer, and boxes were arranged all around, showing signs of an ongoing project.
This pepper go straight down into this, and then after a while, you know, it sucks that out and pumps it out. And then here's a shower. This is actually what we're using. It looks super sketch, but it's actually really, really nice. Don't tell Emily, but there was a spider in it. It's actually really nice. This is what we use until we fix the upstairs shower. And then the very open bathroom with a random phone there. So if, you know, I'm doing business, I can still do business. And then washer, dryer, this, and of course you got the bar. This is a work in progress thing. Hey, what the
Suddenly, he hears the unmistakable sound of footsteps running down the stairs behind him. He quickly spins around, but there's no one there. The noise stops just as abruptly as it started, leaving only silence in its place. After uploading the video, he mentioned that this was only the beginning, hinting that there might be more unexplained activity to come as the basement project continues. The story is far from over. A few days passed with no unusual activity, and things seemed calm. Then, late one evening, the door handle to the sitting room started rattling unexpectedly. Curious, the man grabbed his camera to capture what was happening. At first, nothing stirred, but suddenly, the rattling began again right in front of the lens. He quickly went around to the other side of the door and searched carefully, but found nothing. No one, no sign of how the handle was moving on its own. Still puzzled, he decided he was going to start filming at random intervals, sensing there might be more to uncover in the days ahead. To try and catch whatever was causing the strange noises, the man decided to do another basement tour, hoping it would trigger the ghost again. He set up his camera and walked slowly through the space, narrating as he went. The atmosphere was tense, every creak and shadow making him more alert. Suddenly, something caught his eye.
Alright, so pardon the mess, but this is what I was telling you about, man. So, you got the toilet, and just the complete open. I mean, like I said, ignore the mess. We haven't done laundry in a while, but yeah, it's a completely open bathroom just in the middle of the... It's always something. Every single day. You heard it too? Yeah? I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's getting worse.
In the clip, a faint, ghostly figure walks silently just above him. It then runs down the stairs at a tremendous speed, and right behind it, a cat, previously unseen, follows closely. The man's quiet breathing can be heard as he watches this happen in disbelief. After the footage, the man felt a mix of excitement and unease. He knows this is just the beginning and plans to keep investigating, documenting every step. Whether this is a harmless presence or something more, he's determined to find out. The basement still holds many secrets, and he's ready to face whatever comes next. You'll have to subscribe so you don't miss any potential future haunter features for this man. Helen's Homestead is a YouTube channel that documents explorations of paranormal places, but they are much smaller than the huge ghost hunters that you usually see on this channel. The following video was an adventure into a Scottish castle, and there was no doubt it was haunted according to the locals. So much of the castle was occupied by slaves and dungeons containing prisoners, so it is no surprise that they all stuck around to spread their wrath on visitors of the castle. Helen didn't think it was real, but explored anyway.
Catherine.
Within its labyrinth of hallways and rooms, there's no sign of ghosts, but there's one place I haven't checked.
It's now nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm down here in the dungeon. We were having dinner earlier tonight down here. And it's definitely a very, very different mood now. The rest of the castle have gone to bed.
Now I should point out I'm the only one in the dungeon. Just me and my camera, and I'm facing the only doorway.
So, had no signs of her tonight. But if ever you were going to see a ghost, you think it would be here. So maybe it's all just rubbish. Maybe it's all just hocus pocus. Maybe there is no such thing as ghosts whatsoever. Anyway, I'm prepared to wait. Catherine! Oh, Catherine!
The chair next to me is about to start thumping on its own. You'll be able to clearly hear it.
It's creeping me out now. Okay, I get it. I'm going. Okay, Catherine, I get it.
Then something moves in the dungeon, but I'm not staying to find out what it is.
I'm freaking going. I'd like to think I'm a pretty rational person. But, and if you're interested to play back what's on that tape.
The chair banging on its own with such purpose is what scared me. And an intense electric feeling down the right side of my face and head.
I don't know if you can see that, but I'm shaking like a leaf. Anyway,
during the daytime, literally nothing happened to suggest that this place was remotely haunted, and Helen was starting to believe that maybe this place was just a myth used to create a tourist attraction. However, the basement changed things. Out of nowhere, the chair started thudding as if someone was swinging on it, and when Helen was sent running out of the room, something left in there moved next. It was good content for the YouTube channel, so the team packed up the next day and left, not wanting to disturb the spirit. Our next clip was captured by a more high-profile ghost hunter on YouTube, and the name of their channel is Memoria Sobrenatural Inc. And from the name, you can tell they are not English. Fortunately, they dubbed their videos into the English language though, meaning we can get a full glance into this paranormal investigation. It took place in a house that someone was interested in buying, but wanted to check the status after suspicion of paranormal activity. This is what the ghost hunter was able to find.
Foi encontrado o corpo do homem aqui dentro. E ele quer deixar uma mensagem, mas o quê? Não me recordo desse varal aí em cima, com um negócio pendurado. Talvez essa aqui seria a cama aonde ele dormia? Ou talvez seria a cama de outra pessoa e o quarto dele seria outro. Opa! Olha isso! Olha isso! Olha isso, mano! Olha isso, pessoal! Cara do céu, velho! Minha nossa! Cara do céu, é assustador! Quem é que está aqui próximo a mim? Escuta isso! Escuta isso! Ó! Tá pra cá! Ó! Tem alguma coisa pra cá! Opa! É aqui! Ai! Olha aqui, ó! Olha o quadro, mano! Olha o quadro! Rapaz do céu! Tá me retorcendo aqui, velho! Ai, minha garganta seca! A minha garganta tá seca, cara! Eu quis dizer sobre outro quarto desse aqui, ó. Com essa cama. A minha garganta tá seca, velho. Bicho do céu. Quem é que...
It was extremely obvious that this place was ridiculed with poltergeists, and it was not a nice one. The man behind the camera claimed afterwards that he felt a horrible feeling all the way down his spine, and this feeling only happens when there is an evil presence inside of the room. This meant that whatever was inside of here would not be hard to get rid of, and I wish luck to whoever that task gets given to. It's bad enough experiencing haunting things as a ghost hunter, but imagine suffering from paranormal activity as an innocent man. Bruji was your regular person living a regular life in his house, but suddenly it started to become riddled with haunted activity. For quite some time, he couldn't figure out what it actually was, but eventually, it started opening up more and more with this video being one of them.
Está dormido, ya hasta se me quiere regresar la comida. Estético usa todo hasta allá. Imagínense qué tan grande está. O sea, real, es todo este pedazo. Ay, cabrón. Y seguro se grabó. No. Falta este pedazo.
Now he seemed to become stunned after looking up into the attic, and despite not being able to make anything out myself, perhaps he saw something that I couldn't, and there are cases of this happening to people. This will also help experts identify the type of spirit, so hopefully Bruji contacts one and finds out. Kubo, a regular guy who often shares random late-night thoughts and life updates on his page, wasn't someone you'd typically associate with anything paranormal. He lives in a quiet home, in a quiet neighborhood, and nothing out of the ordinary had ever really happened there. But this particular night felt different. According to him, the air had a strange stillness to it, almost like the house itself was holding its breath. Everyone else was out, so he was completely alone. Just him, the silence, and whatever was about to happen. He'd already brushed his teeth, shut everything down, and climbed into bed like usual. He was just about to scroll for a bit before sleeping when it began.
You're knocking on my bedroom door. Hello? Hello? Just leave it alone.
The bedroom door beside him started knocking. Not a single tap or a faint creak, but a sudden and aggressive series of knocks like someone wanted in. Kubo got up slowly, clearly confused and unnerved, and moved toward the door. But as he stepped out to check, the door across the hallway, totally closed a moment earlier, swung shut right in front of him. No wind, no one else in the house, just that eerie moment captured on film. He stood frozen, breathing heavily, the silence even heavier than before. The clip cuts there, but Kubo later said he stayed up the entire night, unsure of what he'd just witnessed. The following day, Kubo tried to brush off what had happened. He told himself it was probably something with the pipes, or maybe the house settling. Still, the way that hallway door had slammed shut, he couldn't quite shake the image from his mind. That night, even though nothing had happened all day, he found himself double-checking locks and lights, making sure everything was exactly as it should be before heading to bed. He even left a few hallway lights on, just in case. Still, when he finally settled into bed, there was a part of him hoping it really was over. But it wasn't. It was sometime around 2 in the morning when he first heard it. This low, shifting noise coming from inside his bedroom. Not loud, but unmistakable. Almost like fabric dragging against itself, or something brushing against the floor. He sat up slowly, unsure if it had come from his dream or from the room itself. The noise came again. He reached for his phone and began recording, the screen casting a soft glow across the room as he panned it toward the source.
I know I haven't posted in a couple days, but I've been staying out of my room because it just got to be too much, but I swear, I'm hearing voices coming from there the last like 20 minutes.
What the camera caught next only lasted a split second, but it was enough to send chills through anyone watching. Hanging in thin air was one of his shirts. It hovered mid-air for maybe half a second, as if being held by something invisible, before dropping straight to the ground with a soft thud. There was no breeze, no vent nearby, nothing that could have caused it. Kubo gasped and pulled back, muttering something under his breath. The clip ended with the camera pointed toward the floor, his voice shaking, whispering that he didn't know what he just saw. In the hours after, he didn't go back to sleep. He sat on the edge of his bed, lights on, heart racing. Even when the sun came up, the image of that levitating shirt kept playing over in his head. For someone who'd never believed in anything paranormal, this was starting to feel too real.